welcome to Sports Talk, a wrap-up of the spring sports season at East Brunswick High School. Hi, I'm Ken Saroka, and I'm joined in studio by Frank Noppenberger, the Supervisor of Athletics for the East Brunswick School System. Hello, Frank.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thank you for TV3 for helping promote our athletics. And what a great spring, huh, Ken?
Oh, beautiful. It's wonderful to get outside. I mean, after all that snow we had in February, and the crazy weather we had in March, I bet you're glad also to get outside with the teams and see them working on those beautiful athletic fields out there.
Well, that's certainly the plus of the facility, that we're able to compete daily depending on the weather. But just how about our total performances of this spring? Maybe the best spring ever, and we'll get into that in a bit. But certainly individually and team-wise, could be our best ever. And the irony is the regulars, the volleyball, the tennis, they're not the ones that won the championships this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually we lead off these programs in the spring. We talk about the wonderful run of Coach Russ and the volleyball team, and they had a good season. But we're going to lead off with boys and girls track for the first time in a long time, talking about them in this outdoor season.
Boys track, unbelievable. First time ever Group 4 state champs. Came down to the last race, and they took a third to clinch a tie. And then to win the sectional, which was the first time since, I guess like 70-something or 90-something, we won the sectional in boys track. And that came down to the last race after all day, and we had to take a first to win, and we won. And that was our 4x4 team of Leonard Robbins, who we'll talk about in a minute, Kevin Mulcahy, outstanding senior, Evan Walton, and then Don Urschel, another outstanding senior. These four kids knew they had to win, and they performed. A great story that Coach McAvoy, one of the coaches, told me is, at the Group 4 meet last week, they took a third to clinch the Group 4 title. And they were happy that they won the title, but they were disappointed they didn't win the Group 4 championship. That's how close they are and how good they are and what competitors they are. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Sam Mattis, he is the talk of the school, of the state, of the area. He's the favorite today. He's probably throwing as we speak as a sophomore to win the discus state championship. Unbelievable.
I heard a story that from Coach McAvoy that when they were, after looking at Sam's record in his throws, that when they had the design of the section for the throw for the discus, that there was a fence at 185 feet, and the parking lot right after that. So, and Sam has thrown over 190. So they actually had to create a brand new section of athletic field there. Luckily, there was the box there where they could throw from, and pointed in a different direction.
That's a good story. That's a good legend. We can keep that going. We could start that up. But actually, what we had to do is we had to extend the lines to have the marker go out up to 200 feet because he's that good. He's that capable. And then Leonard Robbins. Leonard's a transfer from Georgia, came into my office in this summertime. Said he's a track athlete. Oh, great, where are you from? What do you do? Anything else? He goes, well, I want to play basketball, but won't let me. So I guess the parents, but I'm a great runner, I'm this. Not, he didn't say great runner. He says, I run track and I love it. He says, do you have winter track? I said, yeah, we have cross country. He goes, no, but you have winter track? I go, yeah. He goes, well, where do you run? I said, outside. He says, outside in the winter? I said, yeah. Well, he got used to the New Jersey winter, and he was a state champ in the 400 indoors. So Leonard took over East Brunswick track, Middlesex County track, and Central Jersey track this year. This is like a not a Bob Beeman, Jesse Owens. He won Central Jersey Group 4 state champ. He's the champ in the 100, the 200, the long jump, and he's part of that relay team. How about this, and this is the last thing, we'll move on to girls track. In the long jump, and he's not by any means a cocky kid. He's confident, he's a competitor. He went to the long jump, he did his one jump, and then he's looking around, no one's close to him. And the judge said, we'll find you if we need it. He jumped once, and he won the championship. And it's not just talent. The kid's a worker, the kid's a hard worker. And two other kids that I need to mention that if it wasn't for them, we may not have won the three kids, the Central Jersey. We got Tim O'Sullivan. Tim O'Sullivan's that great all-around athlete, scholar athlete we have. But then we also had Justin Molars, who scored for us. And remember, we just won by a point or so. Scored for us in the javelin, which was a pleasant surprise. And then we had Tyler Flood, who scored for us in the pole vault. We were kind of expecting that. But those points may help us win the Central Championship.
Now, before we move on to girls track, there is another meet as we're taping right now.
This is what they call the Tournament of Champions or the Meet of Champions. You compete as an individual. The top 6 from each of the sections or each of the groups go. So Group 4 will have their 6, Group 2 their 6, and then they seed them and then they compete, and that's where we're running. Sam is the favorite. Leonard's one of the favorites in all 3 of those events, and then our 4x4 could be winners. They were mentioned in the paper as possible contenders, but Sam was definitely seen the favorite. Girls track, again, no titles, but Corinne Kaminkowicz rewrote the record books. She is the Central Jersey discus and shot put champion. She's one of the favorites, top 2, to win the shot at the meet this week, today as a matter of fact, and she's also a Group 4 champion in that. And then her teammate, Rachel Barnes, Harry Morris, the coach, thinks that she's got a chance to pull an upset, that she's throwing that well. So we got 2 kids competing, 2 girls competing in the disc and the shot, and we have Bianca Neorfim and Bria Bell, 2 other athletes who've really contributed to the success of our athletic program, and they will be honored at our banquet that's coming up. But girls track team, never jealous of the boys, cheering them on, and they got 2 of their own competing in the championships.
And that comes out of a program. I mean, track is not one of those feeder programs where we have, like with the Blackhawks with lacrosse or with the soccer clubs. You know, these student athletes have to do it on their own,
Well,
beginning in 8th grade, 9th grade.
That's true. At 8th grade, we introduce them to cross country and track, and our philosophy is we want to expose them to as many of the events as possible. Okay, cultivate that interest, and hopefully they'll continue. Not many sophomore or freshmen compete at the varsity level because we're that good and we're that competitive, and they wait their turn. It's an exception where you have like a Sam Mattis or a Corinne that are that good at a young age. But we have athletes, we have great coaches, as you know, we have great facilities, and it all comes together at the right time. And
you know, with the weather being reasonably moderate during this spring, we didn't have the heavy rains in April, but we had them in March, and it gives the athletes a better chance to be consistent, I guess, with their practices, not worrying about conditions as much, I guess.
Right, and we and our coaches are all veteran coaches, and they know how to work that in. They know their workouts, indoor workouts, outdoor workouts.
Okay, move on to baseball now, and this is the first year, I guess, of using the new baseball. I guess after last year, Coach Hockenjoss was spending it as a road warrior. This must have been quite a pleasant surprise for him to come home and see the wonderful facilities, both for the JV and for the varsity team.
Right. Well, great facilities. Everyone that came in just couldn't say enough great things about it, and you know, kudos to Dr. Majesto, because she was the one who really pushed for that. And you know, the irony of that is people think it's just for baseball. Field hockey has used that. Phys Ed uses that every day. They play softball out in the outfield. And the participation level of, especially on a day like today, is really increased. So it's just not for baseball. Everyone uses it. I just had to make mention of that. Plus, teams have rented that out all summer. The American Legion teams, the baseball rec teams in town have been using it. But baseball, 13-11, beat Montgomery, beat Hunterdon Central, beat these better schools in the area. Beat Edison, but baseball, as you know, a bad pitch, we don't have bad bounces on that field, a slump at the wrong time, like our leading hitter, Phil Granito, he came out on fire, he cooled off a little near the middle of the season, and then he ended up 386, which is pretty good. But we just seemed to get, we had a couple injuries. We just seemed to get snake bitten a couple times on hitting the ball right at the guys. Against Monroe, we hit the ball right at the guys. Carteret, line drives right at the guy. But probably our MVP, Carl Fillmore, he's only a junior. And I don't know if anyone's getting as much attention as a baseball player that he's getting that we've ever had. I mean, there were major league scouts at that game. There's colleges always talking to me. I was just had a long conversation with the Rutgers staff. First it started about the maintenance of the field, and they were just asking me how Carl's doing. And let me tell you, there's a kid that doesn't take anything for granted. He is a worker. When you read about these articles of these kids that work at the sport, that's Carl. And he's a varsity basketball player too. And he gives his time in the basketball. But he's a baseball guy. They say he's a 5-tool player. So hopefully this time next year we'll be talking about Carl getting drafted or accepting a scholarship somewhere. Our most improved player this year was Matt Cleaver, who Coach said without a doubt came out of nowhere and just matured sometimes from that junior to senior year for some reason. One of our captains, our catcher, Tim Kurtz, one of the best captains I've ever seen in all our sports. Been AD here 23 years, Ken. Absolute leader by example and doing things and having his work rub off on everyone else, and they just followed his lead. And then I just got to give a little hello out to one of my favorite players. I always get a favorite player on every team, Jake Bruno. Backup second baseman, played some outfield. A kid that just loves baseball, just loves baseball. And been part of the program for 4 years, and he just, every day, first one out there and just loved being out there. And when you see the kid have that type of passion for a sport and what he's doing, you just got to give a shout out to him. So congratulations.
A winning
Jake.
record, how far did they go in the tournaments?
Well, we lost because we were good, we got a bye in the first round of the GMC, and we got, like I said, against Carteret, we just hit the ball to the right guy, the wrong guy at the right time. The guy standing there played him perfectly. They had a couple of homers. A ball was misplayed, turned into 2 or 3 runs, and but we went down swinging. We always had men on base that last inning, so that was the first round. And then in South Brunswick game was back and forth, and we lost to them in the second round of the states. So we could have been there, but at the same time, I'm proud of the 13 and 11 record because we competed. Every game we competed.
Now with the lacrosse teams, it seems like we have a tale of two different programs here, or 2 different directions. It seems that the girls maybe have taken a step a little bit backwards here. The record 4 and 12. Not what we're used to seeing even with the girls. Girls are very competitive, but yet they ran into some problems during the year.
Well, you've heard me say many times, a lot of times your success is predicated on the opponents around you, the teams. Middlesex County baseball this year was excellent. Middlesex County softball this year was excellent. Okay, girls lacrosse this year, an exceptional season from Monroe, J.P. Stevens, and South Brunswick. Their best ever. Their best ever. So we got caught playing them twice a year, and they were having their best years ever. Was it our best team ever? No, but I think we were competitive. 4 wins, we'd have liked to have more, but our MVP, Hannah Way, every game she was leading the charges, talking to the kids, get them moving. So we had enthusiasm. The interest was there, and there's no doubt in my mind under Coach Grunts he will continue to get better. Olivia Lornick's a college. She's going to college to play lacrosse, academics and lacrosse, helped her win a scholarship. Olivia Frolich was our coach's award. But we're going to be sitting here, hopefully we will, in 3 years, right before the banquet, and I'm going to be talking about this girl, Carissa Smith. This girl, Carissa Smith, is a freshman field hockey, freshman lacrosse player, one of the best we have. She was all conference this year as a freshman. she is going to be a player. She is a player, but if she continues, we're going to be talking about her as a possible Big E scholar athlete type kid in 3-4 years. Remember that.
Okay.
Boys lacrosse. Go ahead.
Yeah, I happened to broadcast the one boys lacrosse game. Unfortunately, it was the game against Somerville, I guess, that they had a little bit of a offensive drought problem.
I think that was the Sports Illustrated jinx or the Ken Saroka jinx or something.
Don't want to.
God, I'm
Don't
telling
go there
you,
with
our
that one.
worst game ever.
I know. It was
ever.
Yeah.
We went on a run after that. St. Joe's, who's playing for the state TSC championship, we were in with the game with them for a half. We gave them their best game maybe so far in the state, except the one that they lost. But we're good. You know, we won 2 games in the state, and we had to travel all the way up to Randolph. And, you know, we're all right. We're good, and we're young. We have great coaches, and we're going to be okay. Pete Sorrento, Eric Brown, Tom Spiata, Sean McNiven. That's a famous East Brunswick family before you came here. Good Zach, famous East Brunswick family, and Jimmy Wendell, another East Brunswick family. So there's 3 football products of the football, East Brunswick football, that their sons are playing lacrosse. McNiven, Good Zach, and Wendell. That's kind of neat. And I was lucky enough to coach their dads, or been on this coaching staff with their dads, and they're great parents, great kids. But boys lacrosse really made some noise at the end. We made it to the finals of the GMC, went the furthest we ever have in the state, and we're young. We only got like 4 seniors.
Yeah, that was one of the things I noticed, that this team definitely has the room to improve. They just stick with it.
Coach Severino and Coach Inazzo just do a great job with the kids, and the parents, a great parent group, very supportive. So good job, boys lacrosse.
Okay. Now we move on to the golf, and Coach Henning.
Can we go volleyball? I mean, can we do volleyball?
Oh, well, let's do volleyball first.
All
Okay,
right.
we'll do volleyball. Coach Greg Rutz, usually he dominates this discussion, but this year not as much domination.
And you know, I was at the state volleyball games the other night, and I was talking to Steve Timko, and he says, well, how was your team this year? Bad year. We're going to be number 12 in the state. 12, we're going to be number 12 in the entire state.
And it's like, oh no, we're number 12.
What happened?
Yeah.
What happened, they say.
Well, I mean, the expectation's there. We have how many state championships have we
Right.
won?
Yes, 7, 8. But the kids feel that way too. They're disappointed. They lost to 2 of the best teams in the state, Old Bridge and St. Joe's. St. Joe's and Old Bridge. And they're disappointed. And that's good. But we're good. We're good. We didn't lose, but maybe 1 game we shouldn't have lost all year. And, you know, they're not happy how they finished. You know, they're going to be like...
Well, I think it's good that they have challenges here within the GMCs. I mean, usually the challenges have come from Cherry Hill, from North Hunterton, or somewhere up to Bridgewater. You know, the challenges for our volleyball program have always come from outside the area.
And like I said, this year, GMC and those softball, baseball, but also in volleyball, Old Bridge, St. Joe's, and us, and maybe Piscataway be rated in the top 20 in the state. Good clubs this year. And, well, that's good that they're catching up to us, but I'm not real ecstatic about them catching up to us, really.
Well, it puts the pressure on us.
Our MVP, let's thank Peter Lisak for doing a great job. Mike Fox did a super job. He was our most improved athlete. Alex Worden was our Coach's Award winner for this year. However, 3 juniors and Coach in his write-up in our athletic banquet, you know, put the responsibility to Alex Patera, who can really smack the ball, Jacob Sachs and Max Levine, to get us back to where we belong. I'm not sure if we're going to get there next year, but these kids now understand that it doesn't happen by accident, and we've said that a million times. Rutz is already telling me how to go down to the beach and playing volleyball already. So, and that's how to get it done.
Well, it's 90 degrees. It's nice weather to play beach volleyball.
But anyway, yes, volleyball had a great season, no championships, but still, they're there.
Okay. Now we move to golf.
Right.
And the running joke with Coach Hennig is that, you know, come out and support the golf team, come out, be our fan, be our first fan ever. And this year, certainly 13-0 for the boys.
Well, my running joke with Coach Henning is he's the best golf coach in the state, in the county. And I've said it many times. He teaches the game. He teaches the game. He takes the kids in the classroom. He takes them to the range, to the putting course. He teaches the game. He just doesn't let the kids play. A lot of the coaches say, oh, coaching golf, this is great. And it is. But he's also teaching the game. He knows the game well enough, and he's a great teacher. So we have not lost a GMC division game in 4 years. We didn't win the GMC championship this year for the first time in 4 years. But it's amazing that we're undefeated again in the red division champs. And at the beginning of the year, Bo, what kind of team we're going to have? He goes, well, we're going to be okay. You know, that's his modest. Usually he says, we're good, we're competitive, and a couple things have to come through, and they did for us to win the division. Casey Schuld was a senior, provided a lot of leadership for us. Drew Aggie is our MVP. He kind of came out of nowhere and did a good job for us. And John Lim was our coach's award. These three kids really provided the leadership. And we're going to be competitive again next year. We played in the States. We didn't do well in the States. We're disappointed because our expectations are so high. Girls golf, it's a challenge getting the girls involved. That's why we offer it in phys ed, and that's why at the younger grades too, because we want to expose it to them. Some of them are afraid because it's hard. You know, you see someone swing a club, they think it's hard. But a lot of them are athletes. And Coach Mott is getting them out there and teaching them a lot. Because a lot of them is the first time they've ever played the game. They don't have clubs. They've never been on the course. Except Brooke Quay, who's our MVP for like 10 years in a row. She's just an outstanding golfer. Lindsay Gatton and Brooke Levine are two kids that also come to mind that really added to the program this year. The girls don't play like the guys every day. You know, guys that go out there every day, they love that. We're working on getting the girls involved more and getting them to play more.
Okay, now we move on to tennis, and usually, again, we talk about tennis as being one of the leaders here with state championships, individual GMCs, kind of an inconsistent year for Coach Pell.
First time that I can remember, been here to tell you, 23 years as AD, that we didn't win something in tennis. There could be another year in there, but I can't remember. Every year we seem to win something. This year it was just an off year for us. Maybe the talent wasn't there. Stevens and South Brunswick are exceptional this year. Saroka had the super #1 player. So maybe that was it. But I think we were down a little bit and the other teams are up. But Mercedes Wu has been with us for years. He's just an outstanding athlete. Haroon Punjabi and James DePetto did a great job for Coach Pell, and they're award winners, those three, and they're going to be honored at our banquet.
Okay. Softball had a great run.
Oh, gosh.
Got a great run. I have Sam Lang in class, and you just tell that she was excited about that team.
Oh, good gracious. It's softball is so exciting. It's so fast, and we got hot at the right time. And our MVP, Beth Ann Highland, wasn't pitching in the beginning of the year. Brady puts her in against Montgomery, and she pitches a great game, and we win. And Montgomery's like #4 in the state at the time. A couple games later, and you'll appreciate this, she's pitching a perfect game. Sounds familiar? 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, 3-2 count. Although the baseball guy last night wasn't 3-2. And throws the pitch, and some people said he squeezed her, ball 4, and walked her. She lost a perfect game on the last pitch in the last inning. And since then, she's been our #1 pitcher. And she took us right to the sectional finals, first time since Coach Brady's second year coaching, which was 2002. So we made it sectional finals. We lost in the state semis last Tuesday. We did a great job in the GMC tournament and in the regular season, second place in the red division after digging ourselves a hole. But Beth Ann Highland, only a sophomore, great pitcher. Our offensive player is Debbie DeWitt. She's an all-conference athlete. Dallas Austin is a junior. She is our defensive player of the year, and she's also a catcher. And they're kind of the studs, you know, their names in the paper. However, the Catalyst, the Aparicio, the Rizzuto, the Gito.
Oh, you're going back a ways here.
Yeah, okay.
You're going back a ways.
Carrie Wen. She's our shortstop. She's an all-conference performer. She just gets the job done. I didn't see her make an error all year. And if she puts the ball on the ground, if everything isn't perfect, she's safe at first. I saw one game where we had the man on third, there were 2 outs. Man on third, 2 outs, she's up. And the second baseman and the third baseman are reeling close. And everyone's saying, why are they in? She's not going to bunt, there's 2 outs. I said, if she bunts, she's going to beat it out. Sure enough, she put the ball on the ground, she beat it out, and the run scored. Nobody bunts with 2 outs,
Okay.
but she can fly, and she's such a great kid. And we're going to miss her. Then Kristen Bennett at third base did a great job for us, some timely hitting. And Shannon Costello, center fielder in the sectional final, pegged the kid out at the plate in the second inning, knocked in a 2-run homer, and she'll be back. So Brady's going to be okay again next year. They're going to just reload. And congratulations to those girls on the state sectional championship. 6 of our spring teams won championships this year. Spring. 11 teams in the whole, all of our teams won championships. 12, if you should count cheerleading because they won their competition. And that's over 16 different titles we won. And over 30, depending on today, I'm counting, 30 individual championships for titles. That's not bad. It's a pretty good year. And the credit goes to the parents and the coaches for the job they did.
Now, during the summer, just briefly, what is your job now? Now that everything kind of winds down, I mean, you have the athletics banquet,
No, there's no
rest for the
downtime.
weary here?
Well, we're redoing the schedule. Right now, it's really neat. Hillsborough and East Brunswick's got a pretty good relationship. We're working on a spring, middle of April, I should say, a Saturday, where Hillsborough's going to send all their teams to us. Every team, including volleyball, including tennis. And then next year, corresponding date also, we're going to send them to there. That'd be a great little thing that we can get started. So we're working out all the little things for that, finalizing the schedules. Of course, coaches have to be hired and rehired. We're going on with that. And interesting about baseball, next year in baseball, for the first time, we're scheduling teams back-to-back. So we're going to open up with South Brunswick on Friday at home, and then go to South Brunswick the next day. That way you can't load up your one pitcher for East Brunswick all the time. So it gives us, so we're working, I have to redo the whole baseball schedule, but that's okay. So yeah, we're doing our scheduling all for the next 2 years, 2012, scheduling for 2012.
Wow.
But yes, I'm very busy.
Well, we'd like to, again, thank you for coming by and talking about the sports season here for the spring and for the fall and winter as well. And we'd like to also thank the EBTV technical crew.
Absolutely.
Great job broadcasting East Brunswick High School athletics.
Good.
For Frank Noppenberger, I'm Ken Saroka saying thank you for watching Sports Talk.